the Oilers or the Canada roster has not been confirmed yet,
Yeah.
but the guys at TSN and those insiders have done a great job breaking it all down, and they've pretty much nailed this thing. So this is what the forward group is expected to be. I think the guys in yellow are the guys who were already announced to the lineup earlier. The guys in white are the ones we expect to be on the next round. The guys who aren't surprising on this, Mark Stone, makes sense. Like I just said, if he is hurt, not healthy, you swap him out, no big deal. Mitch Marner, yep, having a great season in Toronto. Sam Reinhart, second in the league in goals last season.
Yep.
He deserves to be there. Brandon Hagel, I get. Energy guy, he's having a good season. Okay. Travis Konechny, I get. Energy guy, he's having a good season. What I don't understand are kind of the next three. Sam Bennett, energy guy having a good season. Anthony Cirelli, defensively responsible energy guy. Seth Jarvis did score 33 goals last year, and energy guy who kills penalties for you. I think Canada went a little bit too hard in one direction here. I think there's that whole left side is, I mean, Brad Marchand's a great player. I don't want this to come off as Brad Marchand slander, but then it's a bunch of energy guys. I think they ignored too much skill.
I agree. I think they kind of overthought this a little bit for what it is. Like typically Canada in the past has just gone with their best 12 forwards, best 6 defensemen, and best 3 goalies, and they've wrote it out and they've won everything. And it just feels like too on the same week as like the World Juniors announcement, they just messed this whole thing up in a way. And I don't think there's like tons of mistakes. And I think Canada,
and it's hard to dub them as mistakes when the players are still good. Like
good,
I'm not sitting here telling you Anthony Cirelli sucks. He doesn't. He is a great defensive player.
I don't know. It's just such a short tournament. I don't think you needed to kind of go in the direction of like, we need a penalty kill. We need these bottom 6 energy guys. Like, or just like fly out 4-4
like
first
fire
lines.
with fire.
Just like go at it. Like Zach Hyman for me is the biggest snub on this. And I totally understand like the idea of like he has not had a good start to the season. You cannot defend it otherwise. The
tournament's not for 2 months.
But since he signed for the Edmonton Oilers in 2021, only 6 players in the league have more goals than him. 6 Canadians in the league have more goals from him.
In the last 3 seasons, only 4 Canadian-born players have more goals than him, and he's played the same or less than all of the guys above him. He has 93 goals in 179 games. McKinnon has 102 in 179. Reinhart has 106 in 190. McDavid has 108 in 180. Braden Point has 113 in 182. And where I'm going to go with this is, AB, flip to the blue line that we're expecting to see when Canada officially announces. Okay, so you look at this blue line, and what did they clearly value here, Liam?
Chemistry, teammates.
There you go.
Taves with Makar. Okay, they play together. They're comfortable together. It's a short tournament, and you need that. Theodore Pietrangelo. Okay, short tournament. They play together. They know each other. You need that. But then we go to the forwards, and they don't pick a guy who has scored almost more goals when you consider the playoffs as well than any other player in the last couple of seasons, and who plays with Connor McDavid. How do you ignore that when you're doing this? Because he had a slow start to the season and he's hurt right now? The tournament's not for 2 months. They are going to play 20 games from now until then. What if Zach Hyman returns and he goes on a Zach Hyman-like heater, which we know he can do, and scores 12 goals in the next 20 games, and him and McDavid are dynamite and electric, and you're going to sit there and go, oh, damn. Maybe we shouldn't have picked a bunch of guys who can just kill penalties. Also, Zach Hyman can kill penalties for you if you need him to.
Yes,
and and he'll bring you energy, and he'll work hard, and he knows how to play with Connor McDavid. And people will sit there and be like, well, anyone can play with Connor McDavid. Do we not remember the 2010 Olympics? The first 2 weeks, they couldn't figure out who to play with Sidney Crosby. Like, eventually he found his spot with Iggy later in the tournament, but like, I don't know. Again, did you need, to me, you could have said, we're taking 2 of Hagel, Bennett, and Konechny. We're going to take 2 of them. A couple energy guys, and then we're going to have Zach Hyman. And guess what? If you go through camp, maybe you keep Zach Hyman as your 13th forward. Okay, sure. And then if someone's struggling to produce with McDavid, or you do your pre-tournament in your camp and you're like, God, no one's clicking there, he's your fail-safe. He would have been a very good 13th forward. Instead, Seth Jarvis, great energy player. Scored 33 goals last year. Tremendous upside. Loved him in the dub. Wanted the Oilers to pick him. Went off the board right before they ended up with Dylan Holloway. But like, I've loved Seth Jarvis since he was drafted. when I was listening to the TSN segment, and this isn't like a shot at anyone, but they were like, look at, he's played in the playoffs the last couple of years and he gives them good energy and he can kill penalties. That's why Seth Jarvis made it. And it's like, okay, no one in the NHL has scored more goals in the playoffs than Zach Hyman over the last 3 seasons. In the last 3 seasons, no one has scored more goals than Zach Hyman in these Stanley Cup playoffs. You want to talk about a big game player who knows how to produce and the moment's not going to be too big for him? How about the guy who has 19 goals in his last 37 playoff games? He scores at a 40-plus goal pace in the regular season, scores at damn near or a 40-plus goal pace in the playoffs. What are we doing leaving this guy off? And I know, whatever, the comments, if we clip this, are going to be Oilers homer, Oilers homer, Oilers homer. But, like, come on.
I don't think that would even
I'm not arguing with Bouchard being left off. I'll live with that. I'm not arguing with Skinner being left off. I'll live with that. But the Zach Hyman disrespect, it's embarrassing from this Team Canada front office.
Yeah, he should have made the team. And I think, too, that the interesting argument against Bouchard is obviously, like, he's a power play guy. Like, you don't need a power play guy. And, yes, McCall will go and do it. There is a second unit they could throw out there, and Bouchard could be, like, reliable on that side. I think when you pull up the power play stats, like, he's better than Shea Theodore, and Josh Morrissey, obviously a great player as well, and like he could do it too. But I think Bouchard could have been on this team. I think Mackenzie Weegar should have been way more in the conversation than Colton Parayko. And you mentioned the chemistry, like it's clear that like Pietrangelo and Parayko obviously both played for St. Louis, and they probably saw that as value as well. It's just, I just don't think they picked the best available roster. I was even like somewhat disappointed, like Celebrini wasn't more in the conversation. I understand he's young still and all that stuff, but yeah, it's an interesting team. I think they could have done better. Ultimately, there probably will be an injury or two that you can kind of switch some things out. And I think if you go from there and then you don't bring guys like Hyman, or if Doughty gets healthy or whatever, then we'll see.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.